everyone. I'm Lisa Landers, and this is Lisa Landers and Friends podcast. And today I am delighted to have with me Jim Andritch. And Jim is a comedian and producer. Y'all, he produces some of the best shows in Orange County. Right now, he's producing 3 to 4 shows a week. I'm sorry, 3 to 4 shows a month, and doing all kinds of good things in Orange County. Everybody, let's welcome Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for having me on the podcast. Nice to see you. I had enjoyed having you on my show last month with Gary Anderson. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a great show. And you have a great location. It was at a pizza place.
It was at Jabroni's Pizza, San Clemente. That's one of the venues I use.
Love it. Love it. And it has a nice audience draw with it, too.
Exactly. That was my third show there. And of the 3 that I've done there, that was my favorite that we've done so far. It was our largest crowd. I think we had maybe 35 or 40 people, which I was very happy for on a Wednesday night.
Oh, me too. I was really delighted with it. I can't believe that's just your third show there.
Yeah. But they're a good venue to work with. They're very accommodating, and the rare venue that actually encourages adult humor.
Right. And also they have a designated stage.
Yes, and they have a lot of rock bands there, so it's a great room for comedy, as you've experienced.
Yeah, it's rare in a bar setting that you get a designated. Actually, it's a bar restaurant. They have delicious food also.
Right.
But just a little plug to them that they have very good food as well. But they actually have a stage and good sound system, so that makes it really nice to perform.
Agreed. Yeah, it's a real pleasant place to work compared to some other venues that I've worked at, and I'm sure some of the comedians in your audience have experienced. Sometimes it can be rags to riches, what you're going to find until you get there.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have a visit by my cat. She's going to run through here at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
In case you're wondering, this is Sweets may make an appearance, or maybe.
There you go. There she is.
So what are the other locations that you're producing at, just to give some plugs to those locations?
Well, currently I'm focusing on breweries. I've also done small theaters in San Clemente. I've used Cabrillo Playhouse a few times, and Camino Real Playhouse in San Juan Capistrano. And then the theater I really like is the Phantom Projects Theater in La Habra. They don't do a lot of comedy there, and I had some challenges doing shows there. But it's a great theater. They do a lot of plays and concerts there, and so it's not a venue I've given up on. But I've done several shows at Judge Brewery in San Clemente, the San Juan Brew House in San Juan Capistrano, and just doing one at Chapman Crafted Brew in Orange this weekend. So trying to hit North County now as well.
That's excellent. Yeah. I felt like you just had a show, or have one like just coming up?
Yeah, I have one this Saturday in Orange at Chapman Crafted Brew. I did one at Station Craft Brewery in Dana Point a couple weeks ago. Jordan Conley headlined that. And then a week and a half ago, actually last weekend, the 20th, Mike E. Winifield headlined a show for me. And I was very thankful to get him. He's very funny, very nice guy.
I think one of the nice things about your shows is that you find really good headliners.
I'm trying. I'm really fortunate for the short time that I've been doing this. I'm thankful to all the comedians that have come out to work with me. I'm like, in terms of shows I've done, I've maybe done a couple dozen shows, so I'm not as experienced as a lot, but I'm really thankful for the caliber of comedians who've worked with me. I especially want to give a shout out to Erica Rhodes, who's done 2 sold out shows with me. She did my first show. Love you, Erica. Thank you. Let's work together again soon. But I've just had some really good people: Bruce Baum, Vicky Barbalak, and JC Correas. Just some wonderful people. Funny as heck, but even that, nicer folks.
Yeah, and you're bringing forward people that are excellent comedians that have a lot going on. They don't have quite the name recognition yet, but very good comics.
I agree. There are many wonderful producers here in Orange County, and what I've tried to do is feature headliners that sometimes maybe are not included in these other Orange County shows. I mean, they're not exclusive to me, of course, and some of them have worked other shows, but I'm just trying to expand the footprint a little bit, and it helps my experience too, getting to work with some of the caliber of people that have been gracious enough to work with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think your research, I'm here in LA County and I meet a lot of comedians in the day to day, but you've managed to find some comedians that are really good, have a lot going on, but again, are just like subtly under the radar. So you've really
Mhm.
done a lot of research.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like we know for sure, Erica has a Netflix special in her future, and Mikey Winfield. I've had a lot of good people from
Very
America's
good.
Got Talent. Yeah, so just yeah, but some people are, that won't be able to afford again, probably.
Right? Yeah. And
But good
I
for
think
them.
that's one of the points to make about your shows is that you have people on now who are on the verge of really blowing up. And so
Hmm.
you're going to be able to see and enjoy them in that smaller theater, smaller club setting that
Thanks.
you'll never see them in again.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's sort of the goal, and I've been more fortunate with some shows than with others, but overall, it's been a positive experience with people who've worked with me. So I'm really thankful for headliners down to the openers. They're just
Yeah.
just very dedicated to their craft, and sometimes it's just about just wanting stage time when it's not an open mic. And I've given up on doing open mics myself, and so I understand the attractiveness or the attraction. She just wanted to do stage shows with real audiences that aren't comedians waiting for their 5 minutes.
Right. And by the way, you're no slouch of a comedian yourself. You're
Oh,
very good.
well, thank you. Here's $1. Thank you. I appreciate
Oh,
that.
and one of the best hosts I've worked with.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. You also hit me on a good night. We had a really good show and a great crowd. So I think everything just aligned for all of us to have a positive experience that night. Thank you for your words.
I agree, and I've hosted and produced shows myself, so I know
Yeah,
every show has its own
yeah.
personality.
And
Uh,
Slouch too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You got a lot of laughs that night, and I'm sure I'll send you another DM to work with me sometime if I can afford you.
Free is difficult to afford.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some places where you go beer or pizza. Yeah, there you go.
I know, I'm all about it. I just love performing, and so
Mhm.
it's just great to get up on stage. But I really appreciate a show that's well run and well organized and timely, and
Thank you.
that's what you do. And I think when you put forth that quality as well as the organization,
Hmm.
that helps keep people coming back because they know what to expect from your shows. They're like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
there's a comedy show over here. Oh yeah, I've been to one of his shows before. It was very good.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, good. I was saying, and it's really nice to have some supportive venues. Some venues are, as you know, are better to work with than others. But if you have a compatible venue that's all about just trying to put on a good show, and I'm trying to because I want them to have customers come in so they'll have me back for more shows. But if they're real supportive, it usually is conducive and will trickle down into the show itself on show night.
yeah, I agree. I think you're also right at the cusp of comedy blowing up in San Diego County and in
Hmm.
Orange County. I'm seeing a lot of things happening now down
Hmm.
in San Diego. Uh,
Right.
are you seeing the same thing?
Yes, San Diego has a lot of good clubs. I was sad to see here in Orange County see the Rec Room close earlier this year because we have the two improvs and uh, basically the improvs are about it, and then occasionally the Coach House, which is a concert hall, will have a
Mhm.
big show. But we could probably use other large one or two comedy clubs here in Orange County. That there's certainly a market for it, and the demographics support that. But I can
Mhm.
appreciate, obviously the millions of costs to start up a venue, but I
Absolutely.
think there's certainly room for it. I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah, I've been watching. I think Yellow Door just opened
Hmm.
down in San Diego
Hmm. I've heard good
County.
things about the venue. Yeah, and they have, I mean, they have 4 or 5 clubs that I can think of offhand that are in downtown area and do pretty well and put on good shows. And sometimes, the Belly Up in Solana Beach will have comedians if it's not a music night. So yeah,
Mhm.
a lot going on in San Diego. I'd like to see a little more here in OC.
Yeah, me too. I like that it's expanding. I like to get out of LA County a little bit, and the audiences are fresh and fun, and it's really a delight to get out of the LA area a little bit for comedy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had more than a few LA comics who've worked with me saying just what you've said. Um, uh, uh, I guess because there are so many venues in LA that have shows, so it's a lot easier to find stage time than maybe down here, apart from open mics or something. And so I can see where a fresh perspective would be a lot of fun. I've done few shows up in LA, and I find the same thing. It's different than OC. You can do different types of material, of course, but that varies in any market.
Jim, for your shows, are you looking for any specific type of comedy, or um, are you looking for, how can I put this? Like, do you need more G-rated? Can comics be like anything goes, or
Hmm.
what?
I'm across the spectrum, I should say. Um, I plan to do a couple of clean comedy shows, but I have one venue, the one that you joined, Jabroni's Pizza. They encourage the adult material, so I intend to I try to get a little more adult comics for that venue than others, but typically PG-13 to R.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I know I've done some shows where there could possibly be kids present.
Exactly.
And so those shows you need to be G-rated or
Exactly.
PG-14.
Yeah.
But sometimes the producers aren't very specific, and then they get people in that are a little bit racy.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the first things I try to work out with a new venue is what type of content they want. Um,
Yeah,
if, for example, I'm doing a lot of breweries, and so basically, automatic it's going to be 21 plus. But sometimes, if the show is starting early enough, I'll have kids there, so you have to accommodate that possibility. So, but that's good to work out before you start recruiting your comics for a given show.
that's right. Yeah, absolutely. It can be, and when you're looking for venues, it can be challenging because some of
Hmm.
those venues are very specific, or they'll be like, well, it's okay, whatever. But really, if there could be kids there, you really, for the sake of the venue, you really do have to be
Oh,
careful
of course, yeah,
of who's
exactly.
going up. You can't have somebody getting up there and being explicit.
Agreed, 100%.
What are some things? This is a short and sweet kind of podcast where we
Sure.
keep it pretty concise. What are some things that you want people to know about your producing, or something that we haven't brought up so far?
Well, the shameless plug, if you go to my website, jimjokes.com, just like it's spelled, JIMJOKES.com, my current shows are listed there. On Instagram, I'm Lyric Jim, LYRICJIM. When I first started writing way back, I did a lot of songwriting and such, so I've just kept that. But
Oh, fun.
yeah, so jimjokes.com. And, if any comedians are perhaps watching this, please feel free to send me a link to a reel on IG or email me at jim@jimjokes.com. I'm always looking for new comedians to work with. But basically, I like people who are good writers. My favorite part of the whole process is writing. When I first started my first go at comedy back in college, 1975. That's how old I am. I wrote for Jimmy Walker for a while.
Oh, cool.
For his stand-up act. Just a very brief time. He wouldn't remember me because he was very in demand. I was a cast of thousands. But it was a fun experience, just getting, that was my first go around. And I stopped doing that because my college grades were suffering and I wanted to get my degree. So I walked away for a while. But anyway, writing has always been a thing. I've written, a couple of course, unproduced screenplays and poems. So I mean, I just like writing. And so I really appreciate good writing from a comedian. Sometimes the writing might be better than the performing, and you can still get good laughs. But so I really appreciate adherence to the craft of writing.
Yeah. Well, the writing is the backbone, and
Hmm.
then you have performing the writing. So
Right, exactly.
uh,
Yeah.
that's what makes comedy fun and challenging, is that you write.
Hmm.
It's your writing and it's you, and then you get to perform what you've written.
Right. I'm sure this happens to you and probably every comedian out there. You have a friend, hey, I've got a joke, you can use this, and they'll tell you the joke. Isn't that funny? And even if it's just say, yeah, but I didn't write it, so I can't use it or don't want to use it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, I'm sure that's just a commonality for all comedians.
Yeah. Or they're like, oh, isn't this comedy gold? Do you want to use it?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on.
No, I'll tell it at a bar, but not my act.
Right, right. Yeah, it's different. It's different when you're performing it as opposed to just having something fun and quirky.
Yes.
Just a quick one-liner for if you're talking to somebody at a bar or you're in an Uber.
Hmm.
It's a
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes maybe you can try out a new line.
right. It can be a test grounds. It's like,
It
what is
can be
this?
better than an open mic sometimes.
I know. Speaking of open mics, I think you're about to get a Joe Menente fourth wall down in San Diego. So
Oh,
could
well,
be
okay.
a sign of expanding comedy is when you get a slotted mic.
Yeah. It's good to hear. Maybe some of that'll. I'm not far from San Diego. I'm in San Clemente, so I'm almost right there. But love to see some of that trickle here to OC.
Right, right. Those are very controversial mics because you pay for your time. It's like
Yeah.
$5, 5 minutes, and you sign up. But when you sign up, then you're going to go up.
Right. Yeah.
You
So
know,
I mean, for some people, that's a good thing. That's good. Yeah.
yeah, it's been helpful for me with
Good.
working and that we have a few of these slotted mics, and it makes it easier. Like I know for sure I'm going to get up and I'm going to do 5 minutes or 10
Hmm.
minutes or 15,
Sure.
20 or whatever I paid for.
Right.
So I know that. Whereas, if it's a bucket mic, you don't know if you're going up or not. So,
Oh yeah, exactly. I did an open mic about a year and a half ago. We only went a few times. The restaurant that we had it at wasn't real supportive of it, but I was giving comedians 15 minutes, and there was no fee. And but the restaurant they were expecting an immediate turnout, and they weren't saying it's
oh,
not how it works.
right.
But
Nope.
and so unfortunately that didn't take very long, and so I just started doing theater shows after that.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a while for it to build up and for word to
Yes.
get around.
Yes, absolutely. Just like anything. Just like
Right.
anything. Yeah.
You get it.
Art.
It
Yes,
builds over time.
it does. It does.
All right.
Yeah.
Go
No, go ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it varies from venue to venue. I think a lot of producers know this, but even if you have a supported venue, they will never support it like you will because your
Right.
show is your baby. Yeah, and they're promoting other things that at their business, just like headliner comedians. They're working every week, every weekend, so they won't promote your show until it gets closer on the calendar. And it's not a slight against you; they're just trying to push the shows that are upcoming tomorrow or the next couple of days. So it's really important, I think, for a producer to stick to their own project and push it as much as possible because
Mm-hmm.
that's where the juice is going to come from.
Right. Yeah, you do have to push it. It sometimes feels like it's a little much at times, but
Hmm.
you have to constantly push it out there.
Exactly. Sometimes saturation is a good thing.
Yeah. That sounds like a marketing term. Do you have a degree?
Pretty much. Let me key on this right now.
Sometimes it's a degree from the School of Life, and sometimes it's a degree from university.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Oh boy.
I just want to review where people can find you. It's Lyric Jim on Instagram.
Correct.
And then what is your website?
The website is jimjokes.com, JIMJOKES.com. Jim at jimjokes.com is the email. So I probably sound like a narcissist with having Jim in my IG handle and website, but it's easy. It's short. It's one syllable. I can remember it. So jimjokes.com, please visit.
Jimjokes.com, Lyric Jim on Instagram. No,
Yes.
repetition is important. Sameness across your media helps
Yes.
people find you. So
Yes.
if you can keep consistency across, then it's easier for people to find you.
Yeah.
Jimjokes.com and
Mhm.
Lyric Jim on Instagram.
Yeah, okay, look into my eyes. Derek Jim on Instagram. Do you follow?
That's fantastic.
Hmm.
All right, Jim, it's been such a pleasure to have you and to chat with you.
Likewise.
And I look forward to being in your shows and to seeing more of you. And I hope I hope this helps get some more word out, more people in the audience, and more comedians coming to you.
I hope so. And thank you for having me, and just all the best, on your shows and with your new podcast. I just hope this becomes just a big unexpected hit for you. And I hope you just have a lot of fun. But it's always a pleasure to chat with you, Lisa, and look forward to working with you again.
Thanks, Jim.
Sure. Take care.